the 1st of March 2025, there will be a new policy that would take effect, and that involves ATM withdrawals. I don't know if you have seen that circular by the CBN stating that for as much as 20,000 naira that you withdraw from the ATM, you would, part ways with at least 500 naira if it is not in a bank's ATM. If it's in recreation places, markets, you probably may even be paying more. So we want to really understand what that policy is about. We have someone who can help us in that direction. Francis Chinonso Ibeto is the Anambra State Chairman, Association of Mobile Money and Banking Agents in Nigeria, joining us via Zoom this morning. Good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, straight to the point. Nigerians are really tired of all these tariffs ever since this government took over office. This is another latest tariff imposed on Nigerians by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Can you give us an overview of what this is about and how it will impact on the economy, the revenue for government, and of course the economy at large?
Okay, thank you so much. Like you rightly said that my name is Mr. Ibeto Francis Kino, so Chairman Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter. Looking at the new CBN policy you are talking about right now, in this month of February, CBN was able to announce a kind of a policy on the ATM withdrawal that is meant to take effect from 1st of March this year. And based on your explanation, yes, you are correct. When we talk about ATM machine withdrawal, we have what we call on-us transaction and not on-us transaction. So, but before I move into on-us transaction and not on-us transaction, this policy to the government is on the positive note because of it will be a means of revenue generation, not just for the government alone, but for our commercial bank. But to an ordinary Nigerian like you and me, the kind of financial body, considering the economic situation of the country right now. So, but for now, there is nothing we can do right now than to learn how to survive in this country. Then let's look at the policy, just to summarize policy. Like I mentioned earlier, before now, the good part of the whole policy is that before now, some commercial banks limited, especially customers that are not from their bank, not to withdraw more than 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira as the case may be. But with this new CBN policy on ATM withdrawal, it means that a customer can withdraw up to 20,000 naira right now. And in a situation whereby a particular bank fails to comply with this new directive, the customer has the right to report that particular bank to CBN. Then I mentioned something on us transaction and not on us transaction. When we talk about on us transaction, we are talking about if eventually I am a customer of a bank A. Whenever I go to bank A to make withdrawal, I will not be charged. But once I leave my bank, which is bank A, and move to another bank, which is bank B, to make withdrawal, for every 20,000 naira I withdraw, I'll be charged the sum of 100 naira, especially if it is an on-site ATM. When we talk about on-site ATM machine, we are talking about ATM machines that are located within the bank or within the bank surrounding. Then, but when we talk about off-site ATM machine, we are talking about bank ATM machines that are located outside the bank premises, like shopping mall, restaurant, etc. So you'll be charged 100 naira per every 20,000 naira withdrawal, and you can be subcharged up to 500 naira for transaction. So let me stop for now. Thank you.
people in the rural areas, people that don't have access to electronic banking machines like the POS and ATM machines? How will this policy affect them?
Uh, Indirectly, especially for those within the rural area, I don't see how this policy can affect them because there are so many local governments within Nigeria that doesn't have a existing banking structure and they don't even have a offsite ATM machine. So it will more affect those people that are living within the urban area than the semi-urban area where ATM machines are present.
See charges for individuals and businesses that exceed the new withdrawal limits, and how are these charges going to be calculated by the bank?
Please, can you kindly repeat your question? Hello, if you can hear me, can you kindly repeat your question more?
Are they like bank penalty charges for individuals or businesses that exceed the withdrawal limit for a particular day? And how are these fees going to be calculated for specific banks?
Okay, for customers, the way the whole technology is being programmed, you can't go beyond your daily limit because once you try to initiate such kind of transaction, the feedback you will get is that you have exceeded your limit for the day or maybe for the week. So there is no how you can be able to go beyond the limit because the machine is already programmed that you can't go beyond your daily limit or weekly limit.
Um, please, can you please adjust your your device a little bit so that your head can get straight into our device here? Seems your head is cutting off. You better.
Okay. All right. Is it
All
okay
right.
now?
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I actually wanted to ask again. We have heard some of these things happen before. I mean, when you for a particular bank that is not yours and go to the next bank, no, that is yours, to another bank that is not yours, you tend to pay higher. And I think it's around maybe 25 naira. Is it that the CBN is increasing these tariffs to make it 100 naira? If it is not the bank that ATM that you're using, the next bank that is not yours that you are using ATM on, you are going to pay 100 naira for every 20,000 naira that you withdraw. And they also explained to us the particular part where they said that if you are not basically withdrawing from a bank ATM, say for instance you are withdrawing in a mall or in a recreation center or in another location, you are going to pay at least 500,000 naira, 500 naira for 20,000 naira. Can you explain to us these issues and how it would impact on people's pockets?
Okay, yes, you are correct. Before now, the charges on us transaction is not up to 100 naira. So it was recently increased. Then earlier I mentioned about the offsite ATM machine, which is the one you are talking about. Those ones you see on the mall, restaurant, they are outside the banking premises. So whenever you initiate a transaction using this kind of ATM machine, you are expected to be charged up to 500 naira. So the implication of this is this, like I said earlier, the economic situation of the country is not friendly right now. So it's going to affect negatively the common man on the street. Although there are some other alternatives because the whole policy is centered on encouraging people to embrace cashless economy and also to help to reduce fraud within the banking space.
Okay.
So that was why
Do
CBN
you
came up with that policy. And that is not even the only policy that is on ground. You guys even failed to mention the one that is really affecting us, we POS operators, which was a policy that came up last December about average daily cash withdrawal for POS customers and the POS agents. That is the one that is seriously affecting us, because I can't just mention about ATM machine without mentioning the one that really affects us POS operators directly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's actually on our list. We were actually going to come to that, but now that you've mentioned it, let's talk about it. So, how does this affect you people who are into the POS business? Some persons think that the reasons why banks don't have monies anymore in their ATMs is because you guys are the ones who go to the banks and collect all the monies, sometimes even go as far as bribing bank managers and even bribing some of those cashiers to give you money, so much so that when they go to the bank to collect their own monies that they deposited in the bank tells them, look, it is 5,000 naira we have, it is 10,000 naira we have, we can't give you more than that. But when they go to people like you, POS, they tend to get even much more because they're going to pay much more in terms of fees, on top of it. So some persons think that there is some collaboration between you guys and the banking sector to defraud Nigerians.
I can categorically state right now and right here that such kind of collaboration does not exist. I can say that for sure. We know how all this issue started when CBN introduced issue of cashless policy. And I believe we all were in Nigeria then. We know how Nigerians suffered when there was a Naira redesign policy. I must tell you that some of you doesn't know this, but I'm going to say it right now. Most of the cash, as I'm talking to you, I'm a POS operator. As it stands now, this morning, I'm not even sure of the money that I will use to start up business this morning. So the primary source of our cash is through businessmen within the market, because we have been able to develop years of trust, mutual trust between us, the POS operators and business owners. We don't source our money from the bank, sincerely speaking. We don't. So there is nothing like such kind of collaboration.
So how would the policy that was released in December affect your business as a POS operator?
Okay, let me start from the customers. First and foremost, it's going to affect our customers, because what it means is that the operational cost will go up. Like I said, it's not easy for us to source this money we are talking about. And sometimes we, the POS operator, will make use of the ATM machines too. So since there is an increment in the charges for ATM machines, so it is much more natural for we, the POS operators, to increase our fare. And who are we passing the cost to? An ordinary Nigerian on the street. And it's also affecting our business in one way or the other. So for example, the CBN policy that was introduced that is affecting POS operators now, it means that at an average, a POS operator cannot do more than 1.2 million naira cash out on a daily basis. This is affecting our income, like seriously. Let's just assume, as an example, let me just use myself as an example. In my POS point, before now, I can be able to process up to 5 million naira or more transaction. I'm just using that as an example on a daily basis. But with this present CBN policy on agency banking that is related to cash out transaction, what it means that once I transact up to 1.2 million naira daily, I cannot be able to run any transaction that day. That means the business is closed for me that day. So as a businessman, I will find a way to increase my cost so that I can be able to find a way of making ends meet. You know, the level of inflation in the country now is not a funny matter. So indirectly, the cost of running business will be passed over to our customers, and in one way or the other, is affecting us, because some of the people are now living this POS business because of the kind of pressure that we face on a normal day in order to source out cash. And as the day is going by, the ability to source out cash keep on declining. So this is not an easy time for any POS operator in Nigeria. So, but we will always survive because we don't have any other job than this. You know the high level of unemployment we have in this country, and POS business is the only business you can start with as low as a 50,000 naira. 2 million Nigerians are gainfully employed through this agency banking business. So that's the reason why, if you are a POS operator and you are listening to me, I know what we are all passing through now. And I will personally advise us, especially the way we talk to our AMBAM members, look beyond cash in, cash out. You can also introduce other financial services or products into your center, like BVN enrollment, NIN enrollment, and other financial services, because cash in, cash out is no longer favorable the way it used to be. Thank you.
Mr. Ibeto, would you say that this current policy is likely to give rise to shortage of cash in circulation? And if so, what measures do you think should be put in place in order to avoid this from happening?
Okay, I can't say for sure whether it's going to affect cash circulation, but what I can say is this, that it's going to affect the cost of running a business for POS operators. And likely, POS operators are going to pass this cost to their customers. So, and you know, the situation of the country right now is not that friendly. So, it serves as a kind of additional burden to our customers, because we are into business to make profit and not to make profit.
All right. So another issue again is basically about going forward, because so many persons have said that this is not going to happen. The NLC, SERAP are asking that the CBN withdraws this particular policy that is going to affect everybody. I mean, we're still reeling from other forms of hikes exacerbated by the increase in pump price of fuel, the removal of fuel subsidy, if you like. So some persons are saying that, look, they can't continue with this tariff hike, that, you know, if it continues this way, we might wake up one morning and then there'll be a price for even breathing in this house, in this country. So what's your take on this? Do you think that the CBN should withdraw this policy? Do you think that maybe they are justified with what they are saying because the prices of maintaining this technology has also increased, and you know they need to also keep up with that as well, and for the fact that the government also needs revenue to work on certain services that they've asked to basically give to the public? What's your take on this?
Okay, on a personal note, I would say, to me as an individual, there is no need for the CBN to withdraw this policy, because in one way it has its own advantage. But what we should be talking about is the review on the pricing to be done. But to me, is a very wonderful policy that would encourage cashless economy, and also to help fight fraud, because we in POS operator business, we know, especially those of us at the top, we know the amount of fraud that is being going on within this space. And with this new policy, it will help to reduce the amount of fraud that is being committed within this banking space. So where I am recommending that they should do something about is price review, but the policy is okay to me as an individual. Thank you.
Okay, you had mentioned that you source your cash from businessmen, not even banks. But yes, you know, and you also say that you don't bribe banks, that the collaboration between yes, POS sir. Operators and bank managers doesn't exist as far as you yes, are concerned. But again, there are yes, people, POS operators, who say that they pay to get extra cash. I'm sure you must have heard that. I mean, at that level, you should know what's going on in your industry. So when that happens, how do you deal with those issues? And what challenges do you people, you know, have in sourcing for cash in order to do your business?
Okay, to be sincere with you, I used to hear such kind of stories, but I always tell people that normally circulate such kind of stories for them to provide evidence, because we used to hear it on a daily basis, but there's no evidence to back it up. So, as for our members, we always educate our members not to buy cash. And I know that most of our members are complying to that. But in this country, not every POS operator is member of AMBA. So to our members, we are very, very certain that they are complying with our rules of engagement. So, but I cannot say for non-members. So then, like I always say, I'll keep on mentioning it. We source our cash through business owners, not banks. The maximum you can get when you enter into any bank to pick up cash now is 10,000, at most 20,000 naira. How can 20,000 naira be able to sustain you for business from morning to evening? It's not possible. So
No,
our
but
primary source of getting cash
no, but,
is
but,
through
but, but
the
people
business
tell
owner.
us, some POS operators tell us that they source this cash from banks and they pay extra in order to get this cash. That as individuals, yes, you can go and get 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. But beyond that, they pay extra to bank managers to get extra cash.
I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of it.
You're not aware, but you must have heard
Yes.
about it, isn't it?
I used to hear about it, but I have not been able to see somebody that was able to back his or her claim with facts.
Okay, so going forward, I mean, because you are supposed to source your monies from the banks, right? Going
Yes.
forward, how do you think that the system should be streamlined so it'd be easier for POS operators to be able to source monies from the bank and also be able to do business?
Okay, with the Naira redesign, with what most of the businessmen went through during that period, they don't trust to deposit their money in commercial bank anymore. They prefer holding it by
Oh,
themselves
really?
because they are not even sure. They are not even sure of getting it back when they needed it. So I am recommending that the CBN should come up with a policy that will encourage trust and also encourage these businessmen to start depositing their cash in the bank. Because the primary problem we have right here now is issue of trust. They are not even sure of getting their money back. Because if nothing is being done about that, this whole system will continue to exist. People will keep on holding cash in their shop because they are not sure of once they deposit in the bank and they go back to collect their money, they will get it. So CBN needs to come up with a policy to solve this problem.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Mr. Ibeto, many thanks for your insight. We truly appreciate your thoughts on this. We'll keep looking at the matter and hopefully these implementations, somewhat go on, but it wouldn't be impactful, on our pockets. Of course, NLC is screaming, the SERAP is screaming that, this shouldn't go ahead because of what it will do for most Nigerians who are struggling to even live by 111 or 101, as the case may be. Many thanks for your insight. We truly appreciate.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.